Rising to everybody coming in. Grand Rising. Turn this down a little. Grand Rising to everybody coming in. Grand Rising to everybody coming in. And Grand Rising to everybody who will watch the playback. Grand Rising. I hope you guys are having an amazing day so far. Grand Rising. Grand Rising, everybody. Grand Rising. Thank y'all for coming in. Thank you guys for joining me. Grand Rising, everybody. Grand Rising. I'm not even going to be on here long at all. I'm definitely going to try not to. Grand Rising. Hi, my Grace. Grand Rising. I'm not even going to be on here long. Or at least I'm definitely going to try not to be, because I have so much work to get done. We have a lot of orders going out. Grand Rising to everybody coming in. Grand Rising to everybody coming in. Hi, everybody. Okay, so I'm not even going to be on here long. I'm just going to jump on and then jump off. I want to bring you guys, well, I am a part of, I guess I should start off by saying, Grand Rising to everybody coming in. I guess that I should start off by saying that I'm jumping on this rising to join in and to partake in the 7 days of creation challenge that officially started today. I definitely started mine a day early. If you guys want to find that Spirit Totem reading, it's on my personal page, Rumunera Holland Bay. And you guys can find the first reading, Spirit Animal reading that I did. But the challenge officially starts today. And I'm super excited to be a part of this challenge and to be partaking in this challenge with my sisters, Lady Ace, okay, and my sister Shalom Gaia L, also known as Shalom Enterprises on Instagram. These two beautiful wombs have come together to create a challenge that I feel all of us can partake in and join in. They are challenging us for the next 7 days to pick something. Maybe you have one thing, maybe you have two things that you have had a hard time focusing on or staying focused in. And these two ladies have created this challenge to challenge all of us to pick one thing to be intentional in creating in for the next 7 days. We know being consistent at anything can be super difficult, especially if you're just starting to learn to do something, or you're just starting to make something a part of your everyday habit. It can be very difficult sometimes trying to find your mode of consistency, and to just find your zhush. And so I really love this challenge because it's really going to allow us to find something that we love. Maybe it's engaging more into your spiritual practice more consistently. Maybe it has nothing to do with spirituality at all. And maybe it just centers around your goals and the things that you want to accomplish, the visions that you want to bring into the physical manifested realm. Maybe it's just, you've been lacking on your dream journaling, maybe you've been lacking on just journaling every day. Maybe you've been wanting to pick up a yoga practice or a meditation practice. And you find it difficult to find your consistency in it and to find your groove. Well, today I really encourage you guys to join in on this 7 days of creation with my sisters, Lady Ace and Shalom Gaia L, and their 7 days of creation challenge that they have going on, and it starts today. The one thing that I have committed myself to doing for the next 7 days is getting on here and giving quick spirit totem readings, okay, that are coming from the animals and from the insects, as they have been communicating a lot with us. If you have been present and just being out in the world. Maybe you're shopping. Hell, maybe you're just going to the playground and you're finding certain insect totems coming to speak to you, or maybe animal totems. Maybe it's the birds, maybe it's a dog, maybe it's a cat that comes to see you every week. Well, these spirit totems are really starting to make initiating contact with us and to make conversation with us. And so for the last, I want to say maybe about month or so, I've been really delving into understanding the communication of these animals and of these insect totems. And when you start to decipher the messages when these spirit totems come to us, it's really going to blow your mind how much information and how much wisdom these spirit totems have to bring to us. I know if any of you guys are aware, we are most definitely in the age of Aquarius. Some people think that the sign of Aquarius is about water. I was one of those people who was unaware that the sign of Aquarius was an air sign, actually, and not a water sign. And if many of you have been just present in your everyday lives or just present in nature, you will find that the birds have been very, very communicative. They've been talking a hell of a lot. Sometimes we'll go out, as I said in the other spirit reading, and the first one that I did, sometimes we'll go outside and it seems like the birds are screaming at us, or they're speaking very loudly to each other in communication. And oftentimes around where we live at, we hear multiple birds talking, not just one species, but multiple types of birds that are speaking and joining in on communication. And most of them are bringing very specific and consistent messages that ring throughout all of them. And so today, hi my Shasha. As I said to you guys earlier, I am partaking and committing myself to, for the next 7 days, getting on here and speaking about the messages that these spirit totems have for us. I will more than likely be doing them between this page and my personal page. So like I said, the challenge starts today. The challenge is being done by my sisters, Lady Ace and my sister Shalom Gaia L. And these two wombs have come together to challenge us to commit ourselves to one thing that we want to focus our intention and our energy in creating and finding ways to create in that energy. One thing that I want to say though, in everything that we're committing ourselves to for the next 7 days, that we are pouring creation energy into, ensure that while you are creating these things, that you're not only looking to turn a profit for the things that you discover creative wise within you that's going to be birthed within these next 7 days. Ensure that you are also finding ways to use this creative energy and the results and the manifestations that will come from your creative energy. Ensure that you are making mind to use these creations for yourself. Okay, ensuring that you're finding ways to turn your creations into yourself in order for you to learn from them, in order for them to serve you, in order for them to grow you, in order for them to break you, and in order for them to rebirth you all over again. Okay. And so welcome to day 1 of 7 days of creation challenge. The cards are already pulled that I'm going to be reading to you guys today. I've been over here dissecting them and going through these 2 cards that have come out today. And I'm going to show them to you guys without losing my place. The deck that I am going to be working with for the next 7 days is going to be from, my wife gifted me with this spirit deck for our anniversary this year, for our first year wedding anniversary this year. And I have really been loving this deck so much, and I have been working with it a lot lately, and I almost get up every single day and I've been pulling cards and just speaking and communicating with these animal spirits and just listening to the messages and the wisdom that they not only have to offer myself individually, but the messages that they are bringing to us as a collective as well. Okay, and so the 2 messages And the two animal spirits that have come to speak to us today, we have the golden egg energy, okay? And we also have the swan energy, okay? And so one thing that sticks out altogether to me, and I think is also fascinating, and I think it just also kind of shows you how things from our past will come up to serve as different lessons to us now. And when I look at these cards, when I first looked at these cards and they came out when I was shuffling, immediately my mind went to what is the story called? The Goose and the Golden Egg. Okay, and I want you guys to know that that is really the foundation and the base, I should say, of our animal spirit reading today. And I'm more than likely going to title this message today the geese or the goose and the golden egg. Okay, and so before we get into the messages of these spirit messages on today, I have to be obedient and I have to take you guys through the deciphering and the messages that these cards have come to bring us on today. And we're going to open up this reading with a little story. So if you guys have some tea brews, maybe you're making a tea brew, maybe you're already sipping on a tea brew, grab your tea brews, sit back and spend a few minutes with me this rising, pulling yourself together and finding and coming to terms with the messages that Spirit is bringing for us today. And I'm sure that these messages are going to help you to navigate your life today, to navigate your day, and to navigate your journey as you move forward, okay? And so today I just want to say that I am sipping on Vital Energy tea brew here at the Sanctuary. This is a phenomenal tea brew for energy. I'm feeling really tired today. Myself and my wife also started our fast yesterday, and so right now we're in the flushing stage. And so today I'm feeling a little tired, and my energy is not quite vibrant and high. And so I am pulling on my Vital Energy tea brew to aid me in just lifting my energies, lifting my spirits, but also giving me the necessary and vital energy that I need to help take me through the day, as I have a lot of apothecary work to get done. And I want to ensure that my energy is where it needs to be, as we do nothing in the sanctuary without being in the highest aspect of spirit, and ensuring that we do everything over here with intention. And so I'm pulling on my Vital Tea Brew, okay? And also with Vital Tea Brew this Vital Tea Brew, I also think it's perfect for the two cards that came out today, as it's going to deal with community and with the relationships around you. One of the focus herbs in our Vital Tea Brew is the yerba mate. I love this herb. We have been working with this herb for a really, really long time. And I just want to tell you guys the spiritual symbolism of the herb. The yerba mate represents unity and togetherness. It represents bonding families and friends, bringing them together, bringing cohesiveness and unity into the family unit, into the community. And so I think that this is also a phenomenal tea brew to be drinking on, as well, as I think it goes beautifully into the messages that the Spirit Totem has to bring to us today. And so right now I'm going to shift you guys now to our little story time. And then from our story time, we're going to go into the card pulls for this rising, okay? And so I'm just going to turn you guys around, okay? And I hope you guys can see. If you cannot see, just listen, or you can read the subtitles, okay? And so our lesson today comes from the childhood story, The Goose Who Laid the Golden Egg.
Tom lived in a small cottage with his wife, Elena. They were very poor, but they had everything they needed. They had a goat to give them milk. They had a garden to grow vegetables. And they had hens and geese for fresh eggs. Every morning, Tom collected the eggs he took them to sell in the village. One morning he found something strange. What's this? One of the eggs was dark yellow and very heavy. At first, Tom thought it was a trick. Look, someone stole an egg and left a stone. Alina was amazed. That's not a stone, Tom. It was a solid golden egg. Tom took all the eggs to the village. Then he went to see the goldsmith. The goldsmith was amazed too. He wanted to buy the egg. How much? Tom had never seen so much money.
144 with
He
four
bought a
people in
new
the
dress
room.
for Alina. Then he went home. That evening, Tom gave Alina her new dress. She wasn't happy. Oh, Tom, it's too good for me, and we need to fix the roof. Tom thought, maybe Alina was right. Maybe he should have saved the money. But it was too late. He had spent all of it. Then, the next morning, he found another golden egg. Now we can fix the roof. And the next morning, he found another. It's the little white goose. Every day, Tom sold a golden egg. He bought new clothes for himself and Alina. He built a bigger and better house. They had a big garden and lots of servants. Tom and Alina were rich. But Tom wanted more. I want a huge house. One golden egg a day wasn't enough. He wanted lots of gold. The little white goose must be full of gold, thought Alina. Let's kill the goose, said Alina. Then we'll have all the gold at once. They crept outside. Alina grabbed the goose. Tom killed it. Then they cut the goose open. But there was no gold inside at all. What have we done? They said. No more gold. We'll be poor again. They had been too greedy. Now they had lost everything. Tom collected the eggs every morning. He never found another golden egg. The end. Now let me tell you something about this story. The goose that laid the golden eggs is one of Aesop's fables. These are a collection of short stories first told in ancient Greece around 4,000 years ago. Nobody knows exactly who Aesop was, but the stories are still popular today, and they are known all around the world. The stories are often about animals, and they always have a moral, which means a message or lesson at the end. The moral of the story about the golden eggs is, don't be greedy or you might lose everything. The end.
Okay, everybody, and we are back. Okay, so I'm sure it's been a very, very long time since many of you have probably heard that story, that childhood story. I can remember growing up and remembering this story. And many a times when we're taking these lessons and as children, sometimes I think that we're grasping them, but many times we really aren't. And I think sometimes going back into our childhood and in the ways where we found levels and moments of play, you'll find that in different levels of our childhood, you'll find solid lessons that will serve us today. And so after I pulled the cards and was really dissecting this golden egg energy and the swan energy, Spirit took me to the fable, The Goose That Laid the Golden Egg. And I want to now take you guys to the scripture that complements this fable story. And it is, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? What does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? And I want you guys to take the religion and the religious aspect out of it altogether. That's not what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the fable and the allegory that is in these stories that are trying to be conveyed to us, okay? And so, jumping right in, our first card that was out was the golden egg, okay? And the message that this golden egg gives, it says that the message at the center of the heart, the unstruck chord, it reads, within the golden egg lives a precious sound. Deep within that sound resides a message. The sound cannot be heard, nor the message discerned, until we retreat from the noise of the modern world. The magical essence of the golden egg needs warmth, quiet, and time to unfold. No rushing, no pushing, no grasping. Find a place of deep and restful ease, perhaps through yoga or meditation. If you do not yet have a meditation practice, take some time for introspection or contemplation. When the mind begins to settle and the breath is calm, ask the question that weighs heaviest on your heart, staying open to any response you hear. Engaging with the energy of the golden egg is an advanced practice. It requires becoming intimate with our very essence and comfortable with our vulnerability. When a feeling of tenderness or gratitude arises from deep within you, know that you are well on your way. Your chest may swell like you are seeing an old friend that has been away for a long, long time. Listen to the message that they have been waiting to tell you. The golden egg represents the fourth chakra. The subtle essence of the golden egg is nestled deep within the heart center at the fourth chakra. This chakra is called the Anahata. It is the home of the self or soul. By bringing the mind into this center, we discover a portal to the most intimate and luminous space. It is said that our inner guide sits there in deep meditation, waiting for us. Anahata translates into the unstruck sound or the unbeaten. The fourth chakra, Anahata, represents, guys, and I'm looking at my notes as well. The Anahata represents the unbeaten. This chakra is located at the lower center of the chest. Its main color is green and is most associated with the air element. Anahata is all about love and the flow and exchange of emotional sharing between us and all others. The fourth chakra serves as our center of love for one's self, and that emanates out to others. This chakra is associated with unconditional love, compassion, and joy. Okay? This is the source of deep and profound truths that cannot be expressed in words, right? So when we go back and we look at the story of the golden egg, and I liken the story of the golden egg to the things, if you guys go and you go back to the first spirit reading on my personal page, the two cards that came out were originally the peacock and the whale. And when we looked at the symbolism of the peacock really spoke to the gems and the treasures that we all encompass, right? Or you can even liken it to the oil that sits on top of our head, our ori. And the peacock spoke about how it's easy for people to look at the things that we encompass, the things that we create, the wisdom that we have to offer the world, the perception that we have to offer the world, the creations that we have to offer the world, the products that we have to offer the world, the sparks that we have to offer the world. It's very easy for people to look at the things that's on the outward appearance, or the gifts or the golden eggs that we possess, and to say, look at you and say, that's where your magic comes from. You know, that's where the essence of you is that's where the prize is. That's where the prize is attached to, the outward showings and the outward giftings that the world can see, right? But they never ever take the moment to look at, to see where the golden egg is actually coming from. They're just looking to profit off of it, right? And so this first card, the golden egg, is really pushing us and urging us to get to the center of the matter, to get to the heart of the matter. Okay, to go in and to look at those golden eggs that we all encompass, that are priceless, that are timeless, that can make you rich. It can make you rich in abundance and prosperity. It may make you rich in friends. It can make you rich in having a lot of people around you. Maybe it'll make you rich in having things like material things. These golden eggs that are within us, that are really the true treasures and the true gems, Spirit is bringing us to a point to where Spirit is trying to say, no longer are we profiting off of the things that make up our souls. No longer are we profiting off of the things, or finding things, or doing the shadow work in order to sell a thought, to sell a product, to sell an emotion or a feeling. No longer looking at the golden eggs that we encompass, right? The golden eggs within our hearts. Those golden eggs are compassion, okay? Those golden eggs are unconditional love. Those golden eggs are unity. Those golden eggs are being an effective leader, right? Those golden eggs could be empathy. Those golden eggs could be being a loyal friend, a treasured mother, an honored father. Those golden eggs doesn't always have to necessarily always produce or look like something tangible, because those real golden eggs, those true treasures that the peacock came to say a day ago, was that those true treasures are really within us. And that was the reason why they went and slaughtered, right? They slaughtered the geese. They slaughtered the swine. The swine and the geese are cousins. So it's from the same family. That's why for these cards to come out is so timely. And then for Spirit to liken the story to them, because they go together. They all encompass the same things. We are profiting our eggs. We are profiting our golden eggs. We are profiting our treasures, right? For things outside of us that are ultimately not really serving us and are not going to serve us in the long end. Ultimately, what it's going to do is leave you cut open and bleeding out, as was the swan. Because people were only looking at what you're producing, what you have to offer, the wisdom that you have to give, the creations that you have to create. The Spirit is very sweet for creating, right? And for starting anew, for allowing dead things to die, right? Getting rid of everything that's no longer serving you, not only superficially, but also in your spirit, also in your emotional body, okay, in your spirit mind, getting rid of everything that's not serving you as a person, as a whole, right? And so this golden egg is dealing with us at the heart chakra, okay, at the anahata, as it translates to, which that breaks down into unstruck sound or unbeaten. When we go and we look up the definition of strike, I found 3 definitions. There's a host of them, you guys. I encourage you guys to go out on your own time and to look up these words and to become interested in researching the information that you're taking in and processing. So the definition of the word strike translates into, or breaks down into, to come into forcible contact or collision with. Coming into forcible contact and to collision with yourself. Coming into collision with your heart space. Colliding into yourself to get to the heart of the matter. To get to the message at the center of the heart. The golden egg, to get to those golden eggs. To understanding those golden eggs, those treasures that reside within. Right? Coming into collision with those things in order to understand them. Another definition says a thought or an idea. To come into the mind of someone, or to come into the mind of something suddenly or unexpectedly. Coming into the understanding of yourself. Having to suddenly deal with that. having to subtly deal with your mind, to deal with yourself, to deal with your behaviors and your perceptions, to deal with the things that you allow to happen to you, to deal with the relationships that you have around you that you know aren't serving you, but yet they're taking from you. They're taking from you, and you're freely giving. Because everything that we do in this lifetime, we are giving our permission to. Nothing is happening to us that we haven't given our permission to, i.e. giving away your golden eggs, because you know it's a treasure in them. Even if you don't understand the treasure, you can still see that there's a profit. There's something to profit. You have something worth needing. You have something that somebody is looking at right now, and they're looking at you and they're seeing the treasure. You have somebody looking at you right now, and they're looking at you and they're saying, damn, she doesn't understand what she has, or he doesn't understand the magic that he encompasses. Oh, he doesn't understand. They don't understand the golden eggs that they encompass. They don't understand the life and the second chances that they've been given. Oh, they don't understand their magic. They don't understand their own essence. And yet there's somebody looking at you that's seeing the profit that lives on you. They're seeing the oil that's on your head. They're seeing how you can be a benefit to them, even if you don't fully understand it. Okay? Another definition of the word strike says of clock. It indicates the time by sounding a chime or a stroke. Okay? Your heart space. Sending a chime. Striking you to wake up. Striking you to come back into balance with yourself. Striking you to come back into the higher aspects of yourself. To understand yourself on a deeper level, in a deeper way. And not so that you can run off and give it to somebody else. Not so that you can run off and put it in the hands of somebody else, but for you to understand yourself on a greater and deeper level, for you to crack open the ephesus of your own heart to understand it, for you to profit from your own self, from your own wisdom, from your own creation, from your own golden eggs. Okay? Your heart is sounding the alarm and is sounding the chime for you to tap in. Another definition of the word strike reads, by rubbing against an abrasive surface to produce a fire or a spark as a result of friction. In order for an egg to crack open, in order for the bird or whatever being is being cultivated inside of the shell, in order for it to finally break free and to liberate itself, it has to break the shell. It has to break the shell. In order for the swan to even come out into the physical world, it has to break its shell. And in breaking its shell, it causes the being inside of it to be abrasive towards the shell, causing injury to it, okay? Causing friction to it until the shell breaks and releases what is inside of it. And so I love that definition because it also shows how we're all kind of in our own incubation stages. We're all kind of in our own individual shells, right? Even in our own shells as a collective, we're in the shell of the mother and the womb of the mother incubating, right? Because we are the golden egg that sits in the belly of the mother, right? She is the swan. She is the swan that is waiting, that is sitting on us, that is nurturing us and giving us warmth, that is filling us with everything that she embodies, her creativity, her magic, her essence, right? And now mother is going even through her own set of igniting us and igniting this planet. The planet is going through its own sort of friction, right? Its own friction that's happening, right? And so this golden egg is telling us that spirit is trying to bring us back into the center of our own matters at the heart. Okay, they're slowing us down. They're causing us to go deeper. And they're also calling us into meditation and to find ease so that we can nurture those golden eggs properly. right? So that we can nurture them, so that we can feed them the things that we need to feed them, ensuring that we're giving that egg the proper nutrients that it needs, so that it can even come and produce into the proper whole being that it was called into being, right? But Spirit is at the same time telling us that there's a strike that is waiting to happen, that there's friction happening around you, so that you are able to break out of your shell, one, to come back into the knowing of yourself first. And then you can offer those golden eggs unto the world. Okay? So the golden egg is calling us back into ourselves, back into meditation, right? The golden egg is calling us back into understanding what those golden eggs that sit and reside in us, what those golden eggs really mean, what they really embody for us, what they're really trying to teach and to show us. What are those golden eggs, those gifts, right? That oil, that essence, the creative power that you embody. What are those eggs trying to teach you and to show you before you have someone come along to cut you open in order for you to find out what those eggs really meant and how priceless they really were? Okay, so that was the message from the golden egg. And then the last card was the Swan. Okay, was the Swan. And if you guys just look at the card just by itself, you can see right away duality in this. You can see the as above, so below. You can see the Swan and reflection and introspection. Okay? You can see the Swan tuning and turning back into the self. You don't see the Swan. You don't see anything else in the Swan's reflection. You don't see any other distractions. You don't see anybody else trying to tell the Swan what it is, who it is, how to be, how to survive, how to swim, how to float, how to stay above water. You see the Swan reflecting on itself, reflecting on its own golden egg. Because after all, it was the Swan who was laying the golden egg, not the farmer, not his wife. It was the Swan, the geese, the goose that was laying the golden egg. So right away, you guys can see duality. And we can also see right away, as above, so below. We see introspection and reflection. And if you kind of look at it, right, and use our imagination, you can also see the Swan, and it looks like it's in sort of an egg behind it. And you can see the light, right? And so the message of the Swan is effortless creativity, effortless creativity, being a sensitive mystic. And of course you would be sensitive right now. You're in your shell. You're learning yourself. You're developing yourself, right? You're grooming yourself. The friction that's happening around you and within you, right? These things are making you sensitive to your environment. It's even making you sensitive to the shell, the environment that directly affects you. The environment that's directly growing you and shielding and protecting you, right? So this Swan energy is telling you that you're sensitive to your environment, to be sensitive to yourself. To be a mystic is to be able to see, for your eye to be open, for your vision to be clear. If you are your own mystic, you don't need nobody telling you what's happening around you and what's happening inside of you. Yesterday I said on my stories that you are your prophet first. Period. Before someone else comes and tells you what spirits see or what God is speaking to you and what thus saith the Lord, He's going to speak it to you first. Because you are your first own prophet before Spirit sends another prophet to validate the prophet that you already are. To validate the words that are coming from the prophet that you are. Okay? So this Swan energy is already telling you that you are your own mystic. And to be sensitive to that. To be sensitive to yourself. To be sensitive to your own understanding. To be sensitive to the inner workings of yourself. Understanding yourself. Understanding your environment. right? The peacock energy the other day is the assimilator of everything. Being the assimilator of everything. To be the assimilator, it is the process of taking in and fully understanding information and ideas. Okay? Another definition of assimilator is the process of becoming something similar. Okay? Becoming something similar. Taking in and learning your environment, allowing your environment to learn you, being sensitive to everything that you are learning, being sensitive to the creativity that spirit is showing you and embodying in you, that you're learning about yourself, that you're growing within yourself, being sensitive to that. Being able to assimilate everything that's happening around you, all the wisdom that's happening around you, all of the blessings that you are gaining, right? All of the magic that you are learning to be, that you are learning that you've always been, becoming the assimilator of all of those things and still not becoming them, but being able to learn from the experience. Understanding that you are not the experience, but you are in the experience, experiencing whatever journey spirit has you on. Period. And being able to take those golden eggs that will come from that journey, being able to take that creativity that will ultimately come fixed in your hands and fixed in your mind, the elevation that will come in your God body and your Godhood, okay? Being able to take all of that creativity, being able to gather all of those golden eggs and first turn them in onto yourself. First profit from them yourself. So then that way, when you go out into the world taking your eggs, the world don't have to rip you open and to tear you apart to get at them. Because you'll be the example in the experience, showing them how to be and encompass and to carry their own golden eggs. You're the example showing them that the golden egg is in them just as much as is in you. So they don't even have to claw you open or to rip you open to take nothing from you to begin with. Because you're being the example and encompassing and embodying and seeing, right? And being grateful, seeing the worthiness of your own golden eggs. Because we all have them. 11:11. We all embody our own golden eggs. They all reside within you because as just as much as this ugly duckling who swore that she was the ugly duckling, that swore she didn't have no power, that swore that she didn't have no creativity, that swore she wasn't good at nothing, this ugly duckling eventually turned and morphed into the beautiful swan that y'all see in front of you. Being able to sit in each and every golden egg that I encompass and that I embody, whether it's ugly, whether it's beautiful, whether it's trying, whether the journey is easy, but being able to take every lesson that these golden eggs that reside within me are trying to show and grow and learn me. Okay? So the swan speaks of effortless creativity, being a sensitive mystic, and encompassing elegant power. Encompassing elegant power. Understanding that if you know that you are powerful, understanding that if you know that the Ori and the Ashe that sits on your head is so powerful, you ain't got to go out into the world trying to downplay somebody else's power, somebody else's knowledge, somebody else's Ashe, somebody else's working, somebody else's products, okay, to make yours seem or appear better. You ain't got to do it because your power speaks for you, because you carry it so elegantly, because you don't have to go out there boasting about it. Because you don't have to get on your platform screaming, I'm the golden egg. I'm the golden egg. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Your power is elegant. Your spirit is speaking on behalf of you. Your creative works are speaking on behalf of you, Swan. We all have to go through the journey of the ugly duckling to get to the power and the elegance of the beautiful swan. And even the duck wasn't ugly. Your perception of the duck was ugly. The journey of the duck wasn't even ugly. Your perception of the duck is what was ugly. And because you perceived it to be ugly, the journey presented ugly. The morphing presented ugly. The lessons presented ugly. The stages presented ugly. But now that you morphed into the swan, you can look back at the duck and see, man, she was beautiful. Man, she was powerful. She was elegant. She was humble. She was unsure, though. She was unsure. But going through the journey of the duckling helped me to really understand and to be grateful for the swan that presents in front of you. Because she now knows how to produce golden eggs for herself first. For herself first. Because after all, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul, to lose his egg, to lose his ashe? Sure, your followers, they're numerous. Sure, you verified. Sure, you got people sharing your words and your thoughts and your sparks and your ideas every day. Sure, you got people knocking at your door to interview you. Sure, the attention is there. Sure, the praise is there. But what does it profit a man to go back home after he's finished exploiting his eggs and to go back home and to sit with himself and have nothing? And the only thing that you have is a cut open being because you've exploited yourself and you've allowed the world to profit off of you. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose himself, to lose his egg? What did it profit the farmer to kill his goose in order to obtain a multitude of golden eggs that he thought that he would get by killing his most prized possession, his reflection? His reflection, his creative gifts. His gifts were not the eggs, it was the swan. His most precious gift was his self, it was the swan. It was his introspection, it was his own reflection. It was his own creativity. It was his own oil, his own ashe. Okay? It was his own elegant power, not the egg. Okay? Not in what you produce. And what you produce. And what you produce. And what you produce. And what you produce. Okay? So the swan represents heightened creativity. In the Hindu mythology, the goddess, guys, and I don't want to say this word wrong at all. And so I had the word open, and I want to make sure that I say it the right way. And sometimes it's okay to say that you don't understand or to say that you don't know how to pronounce something, because the minute that you relinquish to the universe that what you don't understand, they can open up the floodgates in order to give you understanding. Okay? So this word says Saraswati. So the swan represents the goddess Saraswati. She is the embodiment of language and creativity and artistry. These elements ride on the back of this graceful creature. The swan is ready to take us there, to the fluid realms of writing, creating, and reflecting. This potent and healing energy is not to be taken for granted or lightly. When the swan card appears, your soul is calling for attention, for solo time, An inner voice is waiting to be heard, and an inner vision is likely to be revealed. When this swan energy is in balance, you have infinite creative power. When the swan energy is out of balance, you are agitated, snippy, and lacking vision. To bring the swan energy into balance, it charges you to solo time and to writing. Solo time and into writing. And the golden egg called us into introspection and into meditation and into practices like yoga, which allow us to move the energy blockages in our body, helping us to open up our energy centers, helping us to stretch out our bodies, to bring your minds and your beings into center. Okay? And so the message of today is very simple. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? What did it profit the farmer to kill his goose or swan in order to obtain a multitude of golden eggs, in order for him to profit off of? What does it profit you to give your eggs, your golden eggs away, your wisdom, your gifting, your creative power, your creative understanding, your wisdom, your perception? What does it profit you to give your eggs away in order for the world to rip you apart, in order for you to understand the treasures that you already had, the golden eggs that you already encompassed? Simple. Sit with the golden egg today. Sit with the message of the swan today. If you have time, I encourage you guys to go back and to read or maybe listen to on YouTube the message of the goose that laid the golden egg, because there's a message in it. There's a message that Spirit wants to give you today. And so the message, the spirit totems that came in the day before were the peacock and the well. And today our spirit totems are the golden egg and the swan. The goose that laid the golden egg. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? A tea that I also want to encourage you guys, and some crystals that I also want to encourage you guys to work with today to also help bring this energy into you. As we know, the golden egg is dealing directly with the heart chakra. So if you guys have time, find some time to sit with the Anahata chakra today, which is your heart center. Okay, to sit with the messages that Spirit may be trying to get to you about your heart center, especially as it relates to the golden eggs that you encompass. Sit with that energy today. Okay, that fourth chakra, also known as the Anahata, translates into the unbeaten. The fourth chakra is located at the lower center of the chest. Its main color is green, and it is most associated with the element of air, communication, writing. Okay, that was the message of the swan. She's waiting to take you into the waters of writing and into introspection and into the heart chakra. Use the swan energy today to take you deeper into understanding and working with the heart chakra today, okay? The fourth chakra. Okay, a beautiful tea to work with today. Maybe some of you already have it. Maybe some of you may be interested in picking it up today, 11/22. The tea brew that you guys can work with today from Highland Spices is our Agape Centered Tea Brew. This is a phenomenal tea brew to work with for helping you to invite in the energy of unconditional love, helping you to also open up your heart center, helping you to fully and better take in the energy of love, right? Unconditional love, unconditional compassion. Okay, not only for yourself, but the ones around you, okay? And phenomenal crystals to work with today is malachite, rholinite, green jade, amazonite, and rose quartz. Wonderful, wonderful crystals to work with today as you guys work with the energy of the swan and the energy of the golden egg. Guys, keep in mind also, at the sanctuary, we have 14 days left in our 30% off sale when you spend $50, on anything at the sanctuary. This sale ends in 14 days, guys. So I truly encourage you to take advantage of this sale. Everything in the apothecary falls under this sale. I thank you to all of you who have already taken advantage of this sale and has supported us in your currency, even if you did not spend, for just taking a moment to check out and to look around on the website. We appreciate you and we thank you. Y'all know that we love y'all and we are always rocking with y'all 100 strong. Y'all know when y'all need us, our inbox is always open and we are always there waiting to respond. So if there are some things that you wanted to pick up in the sanctuary but you're unsure, feel free to send us a DM and maybe myself or Akila can help you figure out which products best suit you on today. Okay? Also, again, this was day 1 officially of the 7 days of creation challenge given by my sisters, Lady Ace and Shalom Gaia L. This challenge was put together by them to encourage us as a collective to pick one thing or 2 things to be intentional about creating with and in. We saw that the spirit totems that came forward today showed you that the spirit is open and sweet for creating. Ensure though that those creations that you are working with are first going to serve you first before you take them out into the world to profit from. Okay, guys, so I encourage you guys to get in on this challenge. It is a phenomenal challenge to do, especially if any of you are working with the spirit of procrastination or just working in the spirit of movement. We are in the age of Aries right now in spring. So Aries is really charging us to move on something, to move on anything, to start, to jumpstart anything. So pick one thing today, guys, to focus in on for the next 7 days, even if it's just coming to join me for the next 7 days as we go to spirit, to go to these animal spirits for collective wisdom, not only for our individual lives, but also for us as a collective. And so I thank those of you who took the time to join me and to sit with me on this lesson from our spirit animals. Okay, you guys can find any of our tea brews, anything spiritually that you guys are looking for, anything medicinally that you guys are looking for, you can find it at www.highlandspices.com. Keep in mind that we only have 14 days left and are 30% off when you spend $50 on anything in the sanctuary. I truly hope that you guys have a phenomenal, wonderful, magical, prosperous day today. Okay, if you do nothing else today, bring and invite these energies of the swan and the golden egg into your spaces today to learn you and to grow you, and to sit in meditation today with your heart space to see what the messages is that may be in your heart that spirit is trying to communicate to you today. And I truly hope that this live met each of you exactly where you are. I truly hope that this message finds you exactly where you are. And to those of you who will take the time to watch the playback, I truly thank you. I truly appreciate you. And I will see you guys tomorrow. If not here on this page, I will see you guys tomorrow for our next animal spirit totem reading on my page. Don't forget, tomorrow is also Tuesday's tea. Tomorrow's episode is on fasting, the benefits of fasting, the spiritual benefits of fasting, and all that good stuff around fasting. So if you guys want to join us in our fasting, feel free to join us, even if it's just for a day or two, or even if it's just until tomorrow. Feel free to join us. And so I thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to go handle the business of the apothecary to get your guys' orders out. And I truly hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.